Is this going to be the Bronny draft, regardless of who else goes wherever else they go?
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as, normally you have a clear-cut franchise-changing player in the draft. In this draft, you have a lot of good pros, solid pros. So Bronny James is the face of this draft. There's going to be more airtime because of who he is, because of LeBron. We know that. And, I got a chance to work with Bronny. And here's what I want to make it clear. Bronny has his work cut out, but he's an NBA player, and there are a lot of guys that, get drafted. They may not be pros at that moment, but they work their way in and, really earn their keep in the league. So he's going to be a pro. There shouldn't be any question behind that. And, he's going to have to go out and earn it, man. But the kid's an unbelievable athlete. He's a hard worker, and he's got a lot of skill.
You think LeBron will stay true to his word where he's had this thing and there's been this idea floated out there for years now that he wants to play a year with his son? Do you think that happens? Because I personally don't.
Yeah, I think he's going to scare anybody away who wants to draft him outside of the Lakers. And why would you want to? I mean, you'd have your right to do that. Mm-hmm. Just say that he won't show up. You just say that he won't show up, or you have other ways, and especially LeBron doesn't even have to do it. Rich Paul does. Go look at Rich's track record. He gets guys paid. He makes things happen. So. And I don't know why anybody would want to come in between that, honestly. And you're right. Teams do have their right to do it. But, if Bronny was 7'1", if Bronny was Victor Wembanyama, yeah, hey, we're taking him, but outside of the top picks on your roster, those players are pretty much wide open. So I don't think anybody would step in and challenge that. And, hey, the Lakers may even get away with not drafting Bronny and still getting him in the free agent pickup. I'm not sure what that deal is, but a lot of times before the draft, these teams already know what they want to do. Those picks have already been done. It's rare that you have surprises come around.
Yeah, I think the Raptor or the Lakers pick, deep into the second round, and like that'd be interesting. My guess would be if they're on the clock with like the 56th pick and he's still on the board, they're taking him. Like LeBron will make sure, Rich Paul will make sure, but do not make this a scenario where he's a free agent, where draft him, prove that you want him. And I don't know, it's just going to be a dicey scene because, I mean, you've seen him, you worked with him, like you just said, Ryan. Like and the guy, he goes to a big school, he's at USC, he was an All-American kid coming out of high school, but he's got work to do in front of him, like you said, yet he's got the most powerful man in the game living in his house. So I don't know how he's going to deal with that. Like, is that in his best interest, Bronny, to actually be a Laker and play for LeBron, or should he try to get out of that shadow and do it himself?
No, I think you got to play with your dad, the first parts of your contract, but at some point he's going to have to find his own way in the NBA. And that's just the life of an NBA rookie. I was told, Rick Fox pulled me aside and told me, he said, look, man, you got 2.5 to 3 years to prove yourself. The first couple of seasons, they want to see you work hard. They want to see your potential. But it comes to a point where you got to show and prove to be able to stay in the league. So he's going to have to work, but it's a real trial period. And you think about the rookies in the NBA, you might see 2 or 3 of them play heavy minutes, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 4, depending on the situation. But for the most part, a lot of these guys are going to be playing a lot of G League. They'll come up if there's injuries. They kind of fill it in practice time. You got to earn your keep. So I don't think it's going to be any different for Bronny James.